Test, test, test. There we go. Hey, everybody. I hope you guys have all been having a fantastic day so far. It's been a pretty crazy weekend here, pretty crazy last few days, as all of you guys know. Today, I wanted to look at some historical context of where we're at, what happens if we break out, what happens if we don't break out, of course, a little bit what we talked about the other day, and then going over some economic data that came out today, as well as some news that should be coming out later on this week. But Goldman Sachs, like, their stock price didn't get destroyed, but they had some really bad news coming out today, so we'll be talking about that as well. And then just showing off some of the things that are popping off right now, because I think Dogecoin is a little bit is moving right now, so that's pretty good as well. So let's just hop on over here very fast. All right, so everybody, so as where we were compared to the last few days. Let's go over here. Actually, just add the. There we go. So we're still pretty far away from this trend line overall, but we're a lot closer than we were just a couple days ago during last week, right? So we're still making our way up here. It is getting a little bit harder to see us continuing to go up unless we have some really big news over the next couple days. I think if we go over here and we check this out, there we go. Get the economic calendar out here. So we got retail sales coming up, business inventories maybe. We got jobless claims coming out Thursday. Anything else coming out right now? I don't think so. I thought there was something else coming up. Maybe that's next week or so. But there's CPI. Oh, it's okay. Next Friday we have PCE coming out. Where's CPI data though? I'll find it later. But guys, basically there is some big news coming up here, so that should give Bitcoin the potential here to have these longer term breakouts that we've all been hoping for. And hey, Bideford, I'm sorry there's no notice. I don't know how to fix that, honestly. I tried to tell YouTube, but they said, well, they didn't tell me anything, basically. So I'll keep trying to work on it, but I don't know how it's going to be. I'm going to try to go back to just having streams at 6 o'clock, and hopefully that works out. And then I'm going to try to also have another stream during the middle of the day. I wanted to actually stream earlier today, Bideford, but I was on a call with a new friend of mine, Kevin. He's one of the heads and co-founders of this company based out of Vancouver. I can't tell you much about it because I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about. But I'm thinking of helping him out with some business, and he's a sound engineer basically, Kevin. Really, really smart guy, but we were just kind of jamming over tunes and music. And he has like hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in his studio, and I was just astounded by how good he could make every single thing sound. And he was giving me some advice on headphones and stuff like that, as well as just business stuff. And he was giving me a layout of the new platform though. But I'll be able to share it with you guys, I think, down the road, maybe in a few weeks or so once they have everything version 3 rolled out. But I'm really excited to kind of help him out with that, mostly as like a friend helping out a friend. But it should be interesting. And hey, Kryptonite, hey Joni, hope you guys are doing very, very well. And hey, Pablo. BOJ doing some announcements today. Anything about Japan buying XRP? Check our XRPTA, please. And hey, Babyfish, weird I got your notification every time you go live. I don't know what it is. Some people get it, some people don't. I really don't understand how it works out. And good evening as well, Babyfish. So everybody, we're kind of still dealing with this resistance level up here, but again, the news is really what's going to drive us here. I would say our next big target that we want to close above right now is just 21,480. I like it. We're doing fine. On the weekly chart, that's really what I'm just looking for. Like, hey, can we just break out? If we can, sure, we're going to have some problems with the 200 weekly and the 50-week moving average, but I would be pretty optimistic that we can somehow try to break out there. And that's only because of what we've been talking about as far as the NASDAQ and such. We would need to see the NASDAQ breakout and the SPY. And that'd be the good news there. Oh, let me draw that trend line back over here as far as the SPY is concerned. There we go. We all want to see these breakouts. The concern, again, just so you guys understand, you guys probably saw this in the video earlier today, is that we are getting closer to these resistances. And typically, we tend to break down and start falling back down after we hit these levels of resistance. I know it's not great, but that's usually what happens here. So history might say that Bitcoin's also going to continue to break back down and come back down maybe to like 19,000, 20,000. But this is, one of the first times we've ever had such a big, strong move in a long time. Like, look at that candle right there. I think you guys can see it, even though it's kind of small on your screens. It's been a while since we've had such a large amount of force pushing us back up here. On the daily charts as well, we're probably going to have our first golden cross here. from the 50 and the 200 since I can't even tell you. All the way back over here of September in 2021 when we were still in this wild bull market and we were making that gigantic shoulder, head and shoulder over here. So there's an opportunity, I think, for us guys to go up to like at least $25,000 now. It's still a long shot if you ask me, but with some good economic data coming out, we could potentially get back up here to that next pivot point. Maybe at most 27,000, but I still think that's a stretch. I really do, guys. But after you've seen this big move, anything's possible, I would say. But I'm probably going to be scaling out if I do decide to buy back in here. I'd probably start scaling out anywhere like around 24,000, honestly, if we do have that big pump. I'm still waiting to see what happens if we actually do break out, because I bet shorts are going to be salivating in order to try to buy up a lot of short positions right here just to watch it tank back down here, because historically that's what Bitcoin's been doing over the past few months, right? More than like a year or so, right? This nasty downtrend. And hey, Jonathan, happy to see you back. And hey, Larry Summers, welcome to the Ruby level. Thank you very, very much, man. I really do appreciate it. Just got it, even Mike. There you go. I appreciate that as well. Let me know what's going on. Sheep on fire, sheep pumping up. Here, but let's talk about both those right now. Dogecoin's pumping up a few percent right now. Dogecoin we talked about the other day as potentially a big movie here because we are looking at a little bit of resistance on this 50-week moving average. But if I get rid of some of this other stuff here, because it looks like I have a lot of crap on this particular chart. How many things do I have? I was teaching something about this. I know I was, but that's okay. There we go. All right. Let's just do a typical one here. Kind of matches up with where that 50-week moving average is right there. I think Dogecoin can legitimately get back up here towards 10.5 cents here. That'd be a pretty significant boost if you ask me. That's about a 20% pop. That's more than what you would love to see something like that. Going over here to Sheeb though. There we go. This one's popping up a lot more. This one's up about 17% in the last 2 hours, so definitely on the move. Let's go to the daily chart here. A sizable breakout above its 200 daily moving average. This must have been one crazy breakout to watch right there. Yeah, look at that. Let me do this for you guys. Let's hide that, Let's draw this over here and put it on the weekly. Oh, this is on the daily, I believe it was. Yeah, daily. There you go. It even actually closed above it a few times on the 15. This just really took off here. I bet there was some type of divergence or something similar. I don't have... Oh, this is not the right... That's why it's all weird. It's not the right chart system that I have up here. Okay, there we go. Let's go over here to Sheeb. Can I put this on here? Oh, maybe that'll work out. Weekly. Broke out there. We're going off with this one. Sheep definitely, Sheep could actually, since it's kind of in this parabolic mode right now, it could technically hit up to the 50-week moving averages here, which would be interesting. Let me make sure this is all the right chart. Okay, good. Yeah, it could actually hit up all the way up here around 1417 as the last 4 digits right there. That'd be something interesting. But it looks like the real big thing here was just the 200 daily moving average. That was a big level of resistance, and now it's finally, the cork has blown, so to speak. We'll keep an eye on this as it goes, but this thing is still surging at this moment. You're not going to find that next level of resistance, it looks like, until you hit 1290 or so. It only stopped for 10 minutes right there. Then it broke out, and then it was on its merry way. Anything else popping up right now, guys? GTC is up a little bit. Dogecoin, we talked about that. Maybe FTM's up a little bit. Man is up a little bit, but nothing as parabolic as Sheeb is right now, at least from what I'm looking at. This thing has been looking pretty good. Look at that. Nice little breakout right there, I guess. Kind of, but that took a little bit of time. Yeah, wow, look at that. That thing is just soared up into the heavens at this point. Yeah, that next big wick is way up here, but that next big selling zone, and we're kind of in the middle of it right now. So I think this can go another maybe 5-10% by the end of the day here. Don't be surprised if it takes a little bit of a breather throughout the morning hours, though. And then one other thing over here very fast. Let's go to the weekly. So Ethereum still has a little bit of a way it can go as well. It can technically get up to that 50-week moving average, which is all the way up here around $1,800. I would say that a good level of resistance there is around 1675. My one big concern right now is basically that for a lot of these candles that we're looking at, especially the ones that kind of move the market, like you would consider the Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? I'm afraid they're going to do this, where they kind of come up really strong, which we've seen. They have the same type of candle structure where they finish off with that. Oh, I can't do that right now because it's the same color. But they finish off with barely anything for this week. We kind of go sideways. And then next week we end up just tanking. Now, usually that's what happens, especially because of what's going on with all this reversals on the NASDAQ and the SPY, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm talking about there. But I want to emphasize that these next couple weeks, they're going to be full of news, full of earnings. And if those earnings are good, we can push up a little bit higher. I checked out the market a few minutes ago, and I had just finished watching Morgan Stanley's earnings coming in, and also, what's the other one? Not Morgan Stanley. It's at the top. Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs had a really bad earnings miss. It was really surprising, but they're not really down a lot, so the market is not hating on them so much like they would be a tech company or something like that, which is kind of good. But if you go over here to the main page of CNBC, let me make sure you guys can see this now. Yeah, the futures are down, but they're not really down a lot. So a lot of this stuff can change in the next few hours, or next 10 hours or something like that. So I'm not too panicked about it. I was hoping that there might be some big moves coming for the stock market tomorrow because you're seeing a lot of different asset classes out there just waiting to pop, but they're all waiting against larger moving averages here. So it's going to take a couple days. But if they have that pop, it'll be a good 1-2 day little easy way to make some money here. That would give Bitcoin, again, a little bit of an opportunity to get back up here, like Ethereum, up to like $1,700, $1,800 potentially, and give Bitcoin the opportunity here to get back up towards $22,000, which would be absolutely insane. The crypto market cap has gotten back above $1 trillion. Oh, at least it was a while ago. I guess it went back down a little bit after yesterday. But if you guys look at this very fast, I know we check out this every now and again. Let's get rid of this, and you guys can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit more. 200%, 250%. Okay. Look at this year to date. This isn't bad year to date. I mean, for all of you guys that have been dollar cost averaging, maybe some of you guys are using the 90-day percentage or the 60-day percentage when you guys started buying. Probably a lot of us are using the 120-day percentage or something like that. But at least year to date, you can see Bitcoin's up 27%, Ethereum is up 31%, BNB is up 23%. That's not bad. You see XRP is up 14%, Cardano is up 39%, Dogecoin is up 20%, Matic is up 31%, Solana is up a whopping 128% right now. So you're seeing a lot of progress no matter what you guys are buying, as long as it's not a stablecoin. The majority of assets out here are doing fine. The only one that's not is Leo right now. I don't know what's going on with this project. I tried to buy some, but it wasn't on any exchanges that I personally have currency on or stablecoins on. But I want to buy some of this if I can, just to see if it has a pop, because sometimes the things that don't pop end up popping randomly, But this is one thing where you can see all the green from Monero, all the green from Chainlink, and all you just see is red right here. So I'm curious to see what the story is behind this. And then you see Ethereum Classic, up 40%, Toncoin only up around 2%, Bitcoin Cash up 28%. A lot of that happened over the last few days as well. Stellar. So you're seeing a lot of momentum shift right now, guys. I've started to scale out of some of my swing trades, I guess I would say, but I really didn't put much money in there because I wasn't really sure that we were going to break out this much. As I told you guys before, I scaled out a long time ago, way over here around 18,000. I missed the majority of this move because I didn't think we were going to break out here, but we did, and so I was wrong about that. So I made money, but not nearly as much money as I wanted to. I'm going to have to learn from that mistake right there. But so far, guys, let me go over here very fast. We still have an opportunity to go a little bit higher, and I'll be excited to see what happens over the next few days as we really do hit some of these moving averages that are going to really stretch up in a really fast way. Look at the 4 hour. This is my be careful zone right now. Watch what happens with the 4 hour 20 moving average. If we break down below this, I think it'll be more of a violent move, and that violence could take us all the way back down here towards $20,000 or so, which would be about $1,000 loss, right? Or $1,000 down, which would be no small thing for Bitcoin, right? So I'm keeping an eye on it. If you guys go from here to here, from where we are now to that low, that's around 4.5%, 5%. That would worry me because that means we're probably going to come back down here a little bit lower, around 20s, stagnate for a little bit, then maybe have a reversal. But I'm watching this closely. I want to see another big pop up, and I want to see us have a nice strong move there. We're having a little bit of bearish divergence, it looks like. Fine, I'm watching it. I know it looks a little bit bearish right now. I'm just hoping we get another big surge like we've had over here, right? Breakout, hold, surge. Breakout, hold, surge. This is like a couple days or a day and a half or something. So hopefully we're just waiting for a little bit, and we're having another opportunity to make a big surge here over the next few days. Right now, there's not really an incentive for Bitcoin to surge, but there's enough of an incentive for Shiba Inu to just go out of nowhere, right? Same with Matic and stuff like that. They've broken out. They've had those surges. Now they're consolidating some more, and they're still way above these trend lines here. So there's not any concern that they're going to break down anytime soon. You are seeing, though, that some of these right here are breaking down below those 20 moving averages on the 4-hour chart, right? XRP already did it a while ago. Bitcoin Cash already did it a while ago. But as long as, Engine Coin's still doing fine. But as long as Bitcoin doesn't do that, it should be fine. Dogecoin did it a while ago, just broke back above. Ethereum Classic, we talked about that one already. Ethereum hasn't done it yet. I'm really waiting to see what happens as far as Ethereum and Bitcoin, okay? There we go. And yeah, we can be fine with that right there. Well, the S&P and the NASDAQ are sitting at major resistance levels. I want to see them break out, baby fish. I just want to see them break out so much, my man. Like, I want to see something really good happen to the market. Even though I think the rest of this year is going to get ugly in the markets, and I'm still like going in that bearish direction. I don't think this is the bottom yet, right? I still want to see some semblance of hope here in the market, do something really crazy before earnings start getting really, really bad, right? We start to overhike, excuse me, that type of stuff. But I'm just really, I'd like to see Bitcoin have a really good reversal for once and just like freak people out a little bit. It doesn't usually happen when you think about the historical context of Bitcoin. So if I go back over here, let's go to the Coinbase one that shows us a little bit more data. Let's go over to this monthly chart. Let me get rid of the divergence ones here. You know, usually we stay down for a while, but then we pick up and then off we go. COVID kind of messes us up here. But, you know, we have a little pop there, go sideways, a little bit of a pop. Then we have another really big, nasty move. We normally don't have just a big kind of switcheroo, then we go back down. We don't normally have that too often. In the stock market we do, and maybe it's because we're following the stock market more than we used to. So, you know, you go back in time a little bit here and you go to something like the SPY. You know, we have these really, let me go to the financial crisis. Oh, maybe the financial, no, this is the financial crisis right here. We kind of have those little bit of reversals right there, maybe over here. Yeah, this is more what I'm thinking right here. But we kind of drop down a lot, then we have our big boost, we go sideways, then we kind of fall back down. We have that a little bit more, maybe more in the dot-com bubble, but, you know, right there. We're not used to having that, I would say, as far as Bitcoin's concerned. So I'm curious to see how all of this pans out over the next few weeks. 15, there you go. At least in the 4-hour here, we're holding on for dear life, and we're holding on. I think it could crash because it looks so good. I mean, guys, we're at a major level of resistance. To me, I already told you guys multiple times, and I told you guys, frankly, I did it too early, but I did scale out of a lot of my positions already. Again, not long-term stuff like that, just the ones you buy low, try to sell high type stuff. We're at major levels of resistance. Babyfish just said it as well. We're at major levels of resistance. More likely than not, because of the nasty market we've seen over the last year or so, history says we're probably going to get rejected off of these levels, okay? That's more of a bearish signal for Bitcoin, for the NASDAQ, for the SPY, right? However, if we manage to break out, then you guys could buy even more if you wanted to and try to play that bounce out, right? Play that breakout out. I would rather play the breakout than trying to buy now and hope that it breaks out down the road, right? Because that doesn't usually work out too well, at least in my experience. But I'm watching it closely. But it looks like all the big breakouts that we've had, they've all been part of this big surge here. So we're going to have good news coming out. And we just went over the economic calendar, I think, when I just first started the stream. We go over here to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Retail sales, anything really coming big here? Dallas Fed, no. Jobless claims, not really the biggest thing in the world. Home sales, leading economic indicators, jobless claims, core capital good orders, core PCE, that's going to be big Friday. That'll be big. But that's next Friday, right? Oh, that's next Friday. Sorry, over here. Anything else? No, not really much. I don't see, at least on this one. There might be something on another calendar. But yeah, nothing too crazy right now. See. And hey, Matic. Oh gosh, yeah, Matic's been pretty nice. Oh, Matic neutral, yeah. I mean, when it comes to stuff like this, whatever kind of let's say, guys, that we get rejected off of these levels, just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go to the weekly charts as far as the SPY is concerned. Let's say we continue on the history here. We get rejected there, got rejected there, and we get rejected here, right? Or for the NASDAQ, let me bring this down here to the other one. It doesn't have to be perfect for this example here, but we get rejected here, and we didn't get rejected over here. We kind of tied the timing with the SPY, which was interesting. So let's say we get rejected again, okay? If that does occur, a lot of these assets that kind of popped up a lot, whether it be Ethereum that kind of popped off a lot or Bitcoin, they'll come down, but they'll come down modestly, right? It won't be the end of the world. They'll just start this retracement period where maybe we come down quite a bit, but I'll come down 5%, 10%. The altcoins that have had these really crazy run-ups, those are the ones that might have more trouble here, right? Like Ethereum Classic right now, it might get rejected off of the 20-week moving average, then it might come crashing back down back to $17 or so. That's more than just 10%, I think. That's like around 20%. Right? So that's the concern. But the other way, look at this. It's at the 20-week moving average. This could always just break out and go to $26. That's the possibility if we have the breakouts on those NASDAQ, SPY, yada, 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 right? But you also see stuff like Dogecoin here. It could potentially break out above the 50-week moving average for the first time in a while, about a month and a half, 2 months. BNB testing out a resistance level right here. If that comes crashing back down, that comes back down to maybe around 275 or so. Which again, it's 275 is right on here, like a 10%. If it comes back down here, which maybe that's a lot more, obviously. But a lot of these coins that have these really big pumps, they're usually the ones that have to come down the hardest. I will say though, again, it's not just the NASDAQ and the SPY that's at certain levels of resistance. A lot of times you see it's like here, ADA is at the 20-week moving average. We haven't been above the 20-week moving average since maybe March of 2022, like over a year. Before that, maybe all the way back over here in November of 2021. So it's been a while, guys, since we've been above some of these levels of resistance. I like the fact that we're actually testing them out, though. Every time you test out a resistance, it gets a little bit weaker. So that kind of makes me a little bit more excited. Solana, you can see, really bad dip. It had a nice little pop off here. It did break out above the 20-week moving average. So maybe, oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it did not. Close, but it did not. So maybe there's an opportunity for this to actually just move back up here towards $38. This would be an outlier, though. I would say at least $26 if we have that breakout. This could really, though, have a monumental pump. One of the things we talked about, again, over the past few, I think it was like 2 days ago or something like that. Actually, I don't know when it was last time we talked about it. But I told you guys about some of the stuff that hasn't popped off yet. Sometimes it does well. Well, ICP, I think today actually did okay. Let's go over here to the daily. It ended up leveling back off here. This is also around that 200 daily moving average. I'd be excited to see what happens if we can pop off here. Guys, especially if the NASDAQ and the Dow pop off, it's going to be hard. But if they do, ICP is in a great opportunity for a reversal here. Just because you can see how far this thing has come down. We joked about this thing for like over a year straight, a laughing stock of this coin. But we're having a short-term bottom, and the pattern looks okay. ICP could surge back up to $9 or so. I would hope for something like that. That's more if we actually have a full-on reversal here, not just a little bit of a small move. But I still like ICP right now as something I would want to own for a little bit of a swing. Here's the 15-minute chart. Definitely in more of a downtrend here. But I'm hoping that maybe we can have some big move here if the regular indexes actually have their own breakout. Otherwise, we're going to be coming back a long way. And oh my gosh, this thing will just keep on going down and down and down. One other thing here, guys. Today was mostly a mixed market, so you saw some good stuff, some bad stuff. Overall, the market was just kind of today. If you guys didn't hear that, it was a fart sound. But Tesla managed to get up a little bit. I know we talked about Tesla and kind of finding those support zones. I'm still buying Tesla for the long term, but as far as what I just bought for today and over the last few days, I made sure that I split up my long-term Tesla that I want to hold versus the trades I'm going to be making off this little bounce that we're having, as Tesla is kind of in its own realm right now because of how far it's fallen over the past few weeks, okay? Now, NVIDIA is something else you guys may want to look into. Definitely been having a kind of an interesting time, kind of moving back up here bit by bit. I'm not trading this, but I think if you guys want to practice some day trading, go for it. NVIDIA is something where I'd recommend having a 15-minute chart, a 4-hour chart, a daily chart, and having a NASDAQ chart. I also want a 15-minute and a 4-hour chart there, just so you guys have an understanding of what's going on, because this thing can be pretty volatile throughout the trading day, okay? And hey, Icy God, hope you're doing well. What's right here? And hey, Doodle Doo, I would say be careful. This is not the large breakout. Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. That's why I'm scaling out. I think right now, like again, we always get excited when we hit these points, and that's why I always have to bring up the SPY, which is why I did like maybe 6 times today, maybe too many. I am always watching to see what happens as we come back up here, because again, last time the SPY hit the resistance level, and that's what brought us back down. We actually haven't hit that level yet. Let me take off the divergences right here. We haven't hit that level yet, but we didn't hit it over here as well. So, we'll have to see. I do think, though, let me go over here to the daily. Let me swing this back over using the magnet feature tool, whatever. I do think when we do break down below this one, though, that will be a little bit of a cause for concern, because I think that'll actually bring us back down here to 369. I think we'll actually just bypass this with a few nasty days, and then we'll be coming back down here towards 368. After that, maybe we'll come back down a little bit more, but I can't see that far into the future, right? Looking over here, we found some support right there, found a little bit of support right there. I'd like to see it come back down a little bit more and maybe kind of find our 362 level if we're going off of the exact Fibonacci levels here. Then after that, we'll have to see, because if we get new lows, we're probably going to like 331 or so, or 340, 338, 331. No. That'd be a nasty drop, though. Hopefully, it's very, it's not like this drop, and it's not like that drop. Maybe maybe it's a little bit more sideways, like this, maybe. But you could even see within these sideways actions, you had a clear top neckline, broke the neckline, came back up to test, then crashed back down. You gotta be really gutsy to do some swing trades on that, but it's there. A rectangle reversal, you had your support level there, broke down, then we just kind of came shooting back down. It's very hard to do these types of moves because it's so scary, right? Even over here, you can see we came up into a top neckline, but we never actually closed down below it because we had 2 green candles, and that kind of weirded me out when it happened, because I thought we might keep on going down. Then we had a typical little breakout here with a bottom neckline breakout, retest, and then we were up to the sky, shoulder, head, shoulder, kind of a weird shoulder, maybe on the 4-hour, tried to show a little bit more, broke down, tried to retest, really didn't do a good job, came down for a few days. So there's been a lot of hassle over the past few weeks, especially with the SPY. Like, we could do this with the NASDAQ as well, but I don't think any of you guys really trade the NASDAQ, right? We trade SPY, we trade calls on the SPY, puts on the SPY. We do that with the SPY, SPY, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we do that with the NASDAQ here. I should have FOMO'd Shiba. I didn't want to give up my position on Dogecoin. I mean, you could always make sure that you have your trading journal, and it'll go a long way to kind of help you figure out what you did wrong and such. But always just make sure you have a plan of why you wanted to trade an asset, right? So for Dogecoin right now, if you're trading Dogecoin, you are trading it because you saw this breakout here. You saw Bitcoin kind of surging up. You saw the market kind of figuring itself out, right? And you're like, whoa, look at this. Okay, we broke out and now we're looking okay. You may still be holding, or maybe this hit one of your price targets. I'm guessing if you were looking after something like this, what would I have done? It's out of here. This is just a basic one. Hit that one target. It held there for a couple days. Hit up here, broke out, did fine. It almost hit the point, what is this, 0.09432 level. Still has an opportunity to do that. It managed to close down below the 50, which is concerning, but still managed to pump up even more today. You have a possibility of this getting all the way up here to like 10.5 cents. So there's still more room to run for Dogecoin. Really 10.5 to 11 cents, kind of matching with this zone right here. But you can see at this point, we're just kind of hovering right around there, right? Right around there. Maybe if you want to go to the body of the candles, that kind of makes more sense as well. But you can see that breakout going on right now. As far as Shiba is concerned, if next time, you're like, why do I want to buy this? There's going to be different reasons for it, but here, it's always a different story, right? So right now, Shiba is actually hitting the wall, right? That's what makes it so interesting. Dogecoin just broke out a few days ago, but Shiba is already hitting one of those long-term walls right there. Now, there are breakouts within this, right? You could maybe consider this doing something more of a breakout, right? Whoosh, look at that breakout happening right there. Would have been a little bit more difficult to actually get that technicals in place to really figure out a what I would say is a scale-out opportunity, primarily because we really hit like a low, and then we just started to really zoom off because Shiba has been going down a little bit more than Bitcoin and Dogecoin over the past few months, right? However, we could go in here and we could take a look. So let's go to the weekly chart. Let's see what we can find. Maybe you were just going off of the body of the candle. You're trying to buy around there because, maybe in this zone or such. I would say, does it go back in time further than this? Let me see. Coinbase? No, it's not going to do. Okay, it's fine. Okay, there you go. But I would say, let me go over here. Not much of a breakout there. Not much of a breakout there. Yeah, you can see where that support level was right there, though. Oh, how would you even want to do this? Because it would be such an annoyance. I guess there's two ways to do it. Might as well go for that extreme and that extreme right there. But I don't really like... Yeah, okay, it's around that zone. But then you can just use the 200. You know, I would have just probably been doing this more as a swing trade or a day trade and kind of going off of that. But the way I look at the daily chart, it just kind of came not as pretty as I would say, unless you really just traded that first breakout, which would have been kind of iffy because the last few breakouts really didn't do much here. Let me go over to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I would have said, yeah, so you would have just traded this triangle right here. I would have traded that breakout right there. But I would not have been holding like through all this. I would have just, hey, it broke out. Let me play it right here. Let's go to the 15. Yeah. And that would have had, your fingers would have had to been on the trigger for that one. Maybe over here, there's another opportunity for a breakout right there. Yeah, that right there as well. You could try that one. But that might have hit your stop loss before it boomed off. In fact, I bet they knew people were actually buying here, and they got them out or before it ticked off. And then you get that feeling, oh man, I sold. I'll get it next time, and all of a sudden it boosts stuff. And you're like, why? That's the exact feeling. This was a specific targeted attack to get those people that bought here out, so they could just pump it up and make them mad. Not just mad, but you know, get them to even maybe buy back in frustration, because you guys can see right here as well on the 15. See that clear uptrend? Broke down, came down temporarily, then all of a sudden it really popped back up here. I mean, there was a lot of thought that went into this type of stuff. I guess if you're playing the long game, though, if I can get that there you go. It never broke down below that trend line, so maybe that's what you're ultimately looking at, not this smaller one. But I bet a lot of new traders, they would be like, hey, it got back down to below the price where I bought. I got to put a stop loss on there. Now I'm afraid. Now I don't want to lose my money. And, you know, that's what probably happened there for a lot of traders out there. And then all of a sudden, you just definitely see that big pop. We go over here to the 5-minute chart. You can see currently, it's just consolidating, but we can watch this for a little bit. This is definitely the big thing moving. It's up 17%. Dogecoin's up 5%, but it's calming down a little bit here. Same thing, just consolidating. We'll keep an eye on SHIB. I would love to see this thing keep on moving up. Make sure my mic's in the right spot. I got apple juice for the day. I'm drinking too much. I made some homemade Jamaica tea, so just like Jamaica leaves and sugar. It's fantastic, but I've been drinking too much of it, so now I just got regular apple juice. I love apple juice. There you go. Where could you see mana retracing to? Depends on what happens over the next few days, but short term I could see it kind of around 60 cents or so, about 8, 9, or like 9, 10 cent loss actually. That'd bring it back down around here. Let's bring it back down around there. Yeah, around 13% or so. I would say throughout the whole of next week, though, if things don't really get turned around better, or maybe even this week, it has the potential just to come right back down to the 20-week moving average around 55. That could be a pretty big loss. I'm looking at the daily, though. We're back above the 200. An initial sign that things are not going to go well for this is if it decides to break back down below the 200 daily moving average. Excuse me. That to me would be a big sign, like, hey, we're probably going to have a bad thing happening here. Because historically, this thing's actually been pretty nice level right there, right? So usually we find some type of support. Broke down here, but you know, usually support, and then we break down there, then it kind of all went to shit. But that's more of the death cross happening between the 50 and the 200, right? More of that longer term trend kind of showing itself there. But I'd probably say just keep it on that 200 weekly, 200 daily moving average there. Let's go to the 5. I want to see if this thing really has the potential to kind of pop off a little bit. I was doing recordings for you guys. Let me move this up here to 10. Loki says hello everybody. Let me go over here very fast. I know my software is hiding somewhere on my chart. There you go. Yep. Oh, I accidentally got his nose. He doesn't like when you do that. All right, let's go back over here. All right, and Soul, what's going on? Yeah, and yeah, let's see right here, Soul. Just talked about this a little bit. Let's go over to the weekly first. So we barely missed closing above the 20-week moving average here. I was hopeful that we could last week. We just weren't able to do it. So there may be a little bit of a trickiness with them, especially because this has popped off so much compared to a lot of other assets out there. Primarily, I would have to say because it crashed down so much during the FTX debacle back over here in November, right? So, we consider the lows that we saw over here on 799. It ran up like 183%. This thing will eventually have to cool off. That'll be something to watch. But for now, we're not technically able to get back above that 200 daily moving average here. As long as we can stay above the 20, though, I think it'd be an okay opportunity to hold. Short term, though, I'd be very cautious about us making lower lows here as far as the last week. So what I mean by that is you can see this right here. If we start breaking down below the low of this candle, I think we're actually just going to tank and come back down to that next level of support, which in this scenario is like way down here around like $18 or something. Maybe down here around 19.20 if we're lucky, and we can use this as a zone of support. So let me just show you that right there. This zone of support over here, maybe. But I would say just be careful of this because we're testing the waters right now as far as Solana is concerned. Let me just put a little bit of a line here, maybe a ray actually. Make sure it's precise. Let's go maybe over to the 4-hour chart. Let's make that maybe over here as well. So if we break down below $21.31, I'd be a little bit cautious about what's going to happen because we've already actually broken down out of a slight uptrend that we had. And it's not the largest uptrend, so I'm not like really like screaming like, oh my gosh, something bad has happened. But you can see we officially did break down, I would say 4, 8, like, 12, maybe 12 and a half, something, 13, 14 hours ago. And we have been coming down since then. We need to just get back to this basic support level, probably back down here around 22 or something, less than like 50 cents away, and see if we can hold on. But if we do break down below this level here, it's not going to be pretty, I think. And again, this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream and watching a lot of these 20 moving averages on these 4-hour charts. You're seeing a lot of altcoins start to break down. But as long as Bitcoin and Ethereum don't break down, I think we have some hope to continue to try to move higher. I will say this again. We're at those major resistance points, so it's better to just wait for a breakout. For me, it's better to just wait for that breakout to trade rather than trying to buy technically like towards those levels of resistance. We had breakout 1, boom. Breakout 2, even another big boom. The second breakout blew my mind. But that's what I'm looking for right now. Hopefully they can stay above, but Solana right now, it's already started to break down. It's not the only one, and you can see it's happened before, and it's managed to get back up. That's why I'm not like spelling out bloody burner and stuff like that. The only difference now is, again, Bitcoin's a little bit closer to that resistance level. The NASDAQ is a little bit closer to that resistance level, and the SPY is also closer to that resistance level to the point where they're going to have to make decisions as well. And if their decision does not go well with Bitcoin, of course, like if they get rejected, then Solana obviously has reached a short-term high or medium-term high, and it'll be crashing back down to 15, 16 bucks, something like that. Maybe even lower, but I have to think it'll at least have a pit stop back down here at this local consolidation level. But a lot of shakeouts as far as Solana is concerned. A lot of shakeouts, especially over here. Shakeouts. I think it just gets whales. We're honestly trading with them. And then who is it over here? And hey, dude, yeah, we just talked about ICP. Let me bring it back up for you. Oh, there's ICP. Yeah, there we go. So this one's pretty interesting. Let me just get rid of all this stuff right now. So we all know the story of ICP just doing horrible over the past few years. At one point it was up, whatever this week was up to like 2,800 bucks. I think I'll just go over here to around 300 bucks. I think it opened up around 400. But it's gone from like 300, 400 to $5. That's a pretty extraordinary loss here. However, we have had a short-term reversal here. We've had it before here. Small reversals there, small reversals there. We were able to make some really good profits. So right over here, if you go from this low to this high, that's 243%. This low to this high, 61%. This low over here, last one I'll do, back up towards 111%. We're used to seeing some really good moves here. We just managed to break out above the 20-week moving average for the first time in a long time, like since November of 2021. Definitely a long time ago, right? And you could almost see this double bottom pattern forming right here. One concern as far as this double bottom is concerned is usually we come to retest the low, but since we kind of surged so much, I think maybe we just come back to around 459 or something like that. If we do want to have a retest, I would say it would most likely happen on the daily chart though. If I kind of stretch this out, you can still see the remnants of that bottom neckline here. I still think of this as that support level though, kind of around 462 right there, right where we got rejected that first time back in December. Moving averages, we're still doing fine. The 4 hour though, we did manage to just break down here. It was interesting because we actually broke down below earlier, but it wasn't like a breakdown. It was more of just we opened and closed down below it, if that makes sense. We didn't actually have to open above it and break down and close below it. That's more of the breakdown we talk about here. But we're still making these higher highs despite all this kind of crazy stuff that we've been seeing as far as ICP is concerned. So as long as we can kind of stay in these general uptrends, I'll be okay with it. But I think eventually this one is actually going to be more pessimistic because it usually is. But if it does decide to make a big pop and let's say Bitcoin breaks out, Ethereum breaks out, NASDAQ SPY, they break out. I think as far as ICP, this could want to be one of those nice hidden gems that actually does have a nice pop up. I would probably only say to $5-6, but that's still a pretty decent pop, right? We'd be going all the way up towards here. So if I just like right here, that first level is around 12, but back up here, that's more of a 43% pop. That's why it's so important that we do break out here over the next few days. There are still plenty of shorts out there in the market, and they will get squeezed like crazy if we do have this mini parabolic move. And I don't mean like really parabolic, like we're going up to 50,000, something like that. But if we just have a pop up to 25, 26,000, that's going to be plenty for these coins to really go crazy. It's just going to be very, very hard for us to even get there in the first place. But you guys should be prepared in case we do, okay? Now, this as well also had one of those breakouts here. So these breakouts have been kind of happening like this. Breakout, there we go. Keep an eye on everything. If you guys want some more of the basic technicals here, I'll just go to the daily chart. Let me get rid of that. I looked at this the other day, and you know, I usually sell right here at the white level. We're currently right here at another scale out point. Also testing out that 200. If you wanted another scale out point in case you just hoped that we actually blasted through the 200 daily moving average, I would just be looking up here towards $6-7. $6 right here, $6.98 is around here, around $7. That's kind of where the numbers came from. But you can also see right here, there's a level of resistance right here from this block, and another one up here from this peak that we saw a while ago that we got rejected off. It looks like the 50-day moving average there as well. Me being me, I scale out too early. It's because I want to make sure I just take my profits and run. And you know, that's just shame on me for taking my profits too early, right? I should just move up my stop loss as it goes. But I off most time these days, I don't have as much time as I want to just be auto-focused on waiting for that big move that could happen at 5 a.m. in the morning when I'm nice and peacefully sleeping, right? But I would say $6-7, nice price target right there. I would be, if I was going to be buying, I'd be buying anticipating a big surge above its own 200 daily moving average, and that would really take me up a little bit higher here. But be mindful of it. You're just testing out a current level of resistance right now, but this isn't really showing as much weakness as a lot of other coins right now. So I'm hopeful that this might be able to take one more pop up there. Maybe while everything else is going sideways. Think of what Shiba's doing right now, right? Shiba's continuing to go up. Look at the 5-minute chart. Looking like a champ, going to test out that resistance level one more time, and we'll see what it ends up coming down to. But again, a lot of stuff is testing out these major resistance levels. I think Babyfish said it at the beginning of the stream. He did say at the beginning of the stream, testing out those resistance levels. This is going to be a big week. But if we're able to break out, that's where some magic can really happen. And you know, we've already seen a portion of that magic, but this is something special. Especially, it's very, very nice to have to go watch, CNBC and Bloomberg and Fox Business when they have to talk about how the stock market's not doing like great, but then crypto all of a sudden is booming. They have to try to do some type of crazy comparison about it. Because again, when you think about it in totality, let me just open up another window for us very fast here. We can go over here very fast. Go to something like an Apple. All right, this is probably one of the best performing assets out there so far as tech is concerned. Apple only dropped down 32%, right? Go over here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped so far is about 70%, a lot more. But then, when you actually look at it and you kind of go into deeper, like, what if we don't go into Apple? What if we go into something else, right? You can see from low to high, Netflix, it dropped down 76%. It's kind of around that same area. Tesla, 75%. Facebook, again, 77%. There's an opportunity here, guys. There's an opportunity. But when they have to go out there and say, oh, yeah, Bitcoin is down, but it's not as down as much as Facebook, they get a little bit of, you can make fun of them a little bit, right? Oh, this is not the right window. I need to get back over here. Oh, actually, let's do this very fast. So Shiba's making a push right now. We'll look at it in a second. Let's go back over here. Is this the wrong one? I think I might have to go to the Coinbase one. There we go. I put like 3 separate GAN boxes on this, so it's really, really ugly. So just ignore a lot of the ugliness. I just wanted to see right here very fast if there's any actual resistance levels for us, because we broke out above this. We're testing this one out this week. Last time we got back up here, we were rejected. Last time we came up to the other orange line, we got rejected. Let's go over to the daily chart right here. Let's get out of the auto. Just broke out, holding support. I mean, maybe we have a short-term price target of just 21,901. I could definitely see that as just being as high as we get. If the NASDAQ rejects us, if the SPY rejects us, maybe we just get back up there. And let me zoom out so you guys can see what I'm talking about a little bit more. Because we had the Fibonacci circle right there. We broke out above that. We held there for just one day. Broke out above all these other ones. Broke out there. Resistance level there. Maybe took a couple tries. This is meant to be looked at the weekly chart just because of how everything else looks. But maybe we just hit up to 22,000. But if we can really break out here, at least within this quadrant above, we have an opportunity to get to 24,000, 24,600. That's the beautiful thing right there. There's not really much there blocking us. Now, I could always add angles and stuff onto these. That can always complicate things a little bit. That takes us around to $23,500. Let me add another one over here. See, another angle set. We're already dealing with those. Not really much angles there. And let's go back over here to this last one. Must be the box, not the angles itself. But yeah, we're looking okay at this point in time. We don't really have to pay attention to angles. Honestly, they're there, but they're not like the big thing to really, like the big boogeyman or something like that. You can see their influence every now and again, but they're not really they're not the most important thing. But that next level of resistance really seems to be around 22,000 bucks. It's just, can the NASDAQ pump up a little bit more? Can the SPY pump up a little bit more? That kind of push us over there. We'll look back at it a little bit later. If you guys have any questions about the GAN boxes, let me know. See. What's my thoughts on the statement on Doge? What is great and all is being taken place within the pattern triple bottom on the support and Adam and Eve falling wedge and with the bullshit? Let's see. As far as Dogecoin's concerned, I'm still happy with where it is. I like the breakout. My concern is no matter how good a lot of the information is as far as the multiple bottoms, the breakout, and stuff like that, it really comes down to the fact, is Bitcoin going to continue going up? If Bitcoin does not continue to go up, Dogecoin will just crash and burn, okay? But while Dogecoin does look more bullish, that usually means, just like what you're seeing with a couple other assets out there, it'll usually have better results within that period of time. So right now, in my opinion, Dogecoin is just catching up to a lot of the other assets in the marketplace right now. Because it had to wait a little bit of a longer period to actually have that good setup. Dogecoin's up 4%, 5% right now, 4.8 whatever percent. But if you look at it year to date or over the last 90 days, it really hasn't been as good as a lot of the other coins out there. So it's just trying to make up that last ground. And it's been able to do that in part because of some of the really good technicals we've seen over the past few months, as far as when Elon Musk bought Twitter, we actually had that really big pump up. That pump up blasted through a lot of walls, a lot of barriers, and it's making Dogecoin have a little bit of an easier time pumping up right now. While SHIB really didn't have the opportunity, so right now SHIB is just trying to blast through some of those walls, which is making a lot nicer play right now over Dogecoin. But Dogecoin is still good as well. Bitcoin's only up at 0.8%, Ethereum's only up 1%, Dogecoin's up a whopping 5%. That's what you want to see out of a coin you're holding right now. And hey, Joel, TGT, I don't have that on my chart, but let me see if I can just find it very fast. It's not on my charts here. Maybe you just mean Target. I think you might just mean Target. I think you just mean Target. I don't know if you're talking about Target or something else. It looks like it went down today. What was it down today? About 1.5%. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So Target's interesting to me. You can see for 2 weeks it did break down and have a decent breakdown effect. It was interesting though because this is off. Okay, yeah, let's say this is not exactly what it's supposed to look like. There you go. If you fell for this, you might have actually opened up a little bit too early, which is where you got to prepare. You can see it had a breakdown and it did come back down pretty well. It was a fine breakdown. I was fine with it. Let me just show you guys what happened here as far as your typical retracement levels and stuff. There you go. And then there's one that's missing here. I don't know if I can place it. Well, let me. Where's it at? I did the wrong low. Yeah, maybe I won't have to go do this. No. There's a Fibonacci level where it matches like that perfectly. This isn't it. This is the wrong spot. I'm just misplacing where it was a while ago. It doesn't matter. At this point in time, though, as far as Target's concerned, I want to buy some puts on it, but I kind of want to wait to see what happens if we manage to get back up here towards 176. Again, this is an opportunity if the NASDAQ and the SPY try to break out a little bit more here. Not break out, but just go up a little bit higher. Right now, let's go to the weekly chart. It'll be easier. All right. My rule normally when I trade, unless it's like more of a day trade, I tend to buy more at these support levels and these resistance levels. That's when I get more active. It doesn't have to be at these wicks. It might be up here towards the bodies of the candles. But at this point, I'm looking at the 20-week moving average, which has been kind of a weird thing to kind of watch, right? Big pop, big drop, big drop, big pop. Not much here. We didn't really break out. Big drop, big pop. All right. I kind of want to buy some puts on this, but I kind of want to see if it gets up a little bit higher. Because I think there's an opportunity for us to have another big drop here as far as Target's concerned. The 200 has been a little bit of a factor. It's kind of always been timed up, if you ask me, with the 20 though. Because if you go back over here, decent pop. I wouldn't really call that a drop, I guess, there, but a little bit of a drop here maybe for the breakdown. So let me see. I kind of want to see this get back up here towards 175, honestly, before I make any big trades off of it. Let's go back over to the daily chart though. It's more of this earnings thing kind of messed stuff up because everybody was hoping it was going to have a great earnings, and it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great, right? Not testing out the top just yet. It's not a firm top either. I would like to see sometime over next week that it actually gets back up here to 177. Then I would like to pull the trigger and buy some shorts on it. Puts, excuse me. That's what I'm hoping for right now. I mean, you could try to go off of some of these Fibonacci extension tools and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be the best help. So let me just go back up here. You can see how big of a move this is. Yeah, you can see it's not that accurate. It's not that accurate. Not that accurate there as well. I want to see if it can actually bounce back up here towards 175, 178, and I'll buy some good puts. I'd probably buy 170 puts. So if we're up here around 176, buy 170 puts here. Hold it for a few days. Watch it come back down. If it causes some type of pattern breakdown, I'd be more happy to kind of buy an additional set of puts, but probably at an expiration date about a week after. But I don't, because to me this is something that I want to hold for a very long time. But as far as like just finding a position to actually open up a trade, I want to see this come up a little bit higher here. Or I want to see the NASDAQ and the SPY actually get close enough for those levels of resistance that we've been talking about for that rejection to kind of move the entire market down here. Because you can see what the earnings did last time. Big earnings drop. Earnings over here, not bad. Not good, not bad, right? Not good, not bad over here as well. We're kind of still in this kind of gray area. I don't usually trade much over here. I do want to see if we can get up to like 170s though. I would love to pull the trigger and buy some puts on this bad boy, because I think we are going to go down a little bit more here. But this is just setting up to be a nice little flag consolidation pattern here. So you continuation pattern. Excuse me. We continue on your merry way. Oh wait, hold on one second here, guys. Did it pop? No, I don't think it popped yet. Oh, I got close. It got close, but it didn't pop. It's getting really close. Trying to break out. And hey, Icy God, no worries. I'm always happy to help you out. Let me know if you have any questions and stuff like that. Yeah, no worries, Icy God. Big thanks. I'm always here to help you guys out. Buyback, reinvest. I got that in at 73. I had it at 77 Dogecoin. Let's see. Oh, Ghost says there's a bunch of stuff moving. I see the market picking up a little bit here. There's still most of the stuff I still see is up like 1 to 2%. Sushi's up a little bit right now. Sand is up a little bit right now. This is the 1 minute. Oh, let me go to the 5-minute chart. Yeah, you're seeing Sand make a move here. EOS is starting to try to make a move. Sushi Coin is making a little bit of a move here. It's really like, this is a day trader's market to me right now. Maybe I'm just looking at the 5-minute charts. What else am I going to say? But right now, I'm excited to see what happens as far as SHIB. This could be a really nice leverage trade kind of going along at this point. Nice little pop, but this has to break out first. Which are you going to trust the 5-minute chart, or are you going to trust the 15-minute for the breakdown? The breakout, excuse me, that's going to be a fun one. And hey, Christopher, the dollar index is pumping. Yeah, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on in the world, especially around Russia right now, like bombing some stuff, and the markets have been kind of taking that into effect. Let's go over here to the daily. Weekly, excuse me, not minute, weekly. We only have so many levels of support for this, which is kind of interesting, because we're not actually at that level of support right now. We kind of went there. We just kind of crashed down off of some bad economic data, or I would just say inflation data, right? Came down, broke down, went sideways, broke down below the 20 here and the 50 over the last few months. Looks like a short-term pop here, because if we kind of extend back out, we're going to have a death cross any time now, and every single death cross has always led to a little bit of a drop down here. It might not be the end of the move up, I would say, but it's definitely going to be a pause. I would have to say pause. Like, 20 here, 20 below the 200 here, 50 below 200. We're already going to be looking at the 20 below the 50. So 20 below the 50 right here, 20 below the 50 right here. Maybe it's something more like that. We'll have to wait and see. But should be at least a decent sign here where we can at least get a little bit more of a sideways action. Because the market's looking for some stability right now. Even if the dollar is high, they just want some stability. Going back to oil and stuff like that. Watch list, there we go. US oil too is also trying to break out this week back above the 20-week moving average and just out of this simple little pattern right here. Go to the daily chart, trying to break out. Oh, it did break out yesterday. Oh, wait. Yeah, it did break out yesterday. That might be good. A lot of oil stocks, like we talk about here, they've still been doing fine as well. I've scaled out of about a number of my low dividend plays, but I still have my high dividend plays out there. Low dividend plays include stuff like ZOM, but ZOM is still a steady company, so if you guys like that, they're still pretty solid. I don't know if I actually have a ZOM chart to show you guys though. ZOM. Oh, see, I was too early as far as the reversal here, and then you can see the zone right there. We're back up to that zone, but this is like ZOM is almost back up to all-time highs again. So I was a little bit early with mine, so I thought it might take a little bit faster, but it didn't, right? But you can see, they're doing fine. They're doing fine. PXD making its way back up here. I like this mostly because you guys know it has the higher dividend range. But a lot of oil is just doing perfectly fine. They had their small breakdowns. You could have made money buying puts, I suppose. I don't like to do that because oil markets are very crazy right now as far as OPEC versus America, right? And Venezuela's hopping into the mix, Russia, right? But as far as just holding an asset for dividends, oil continues to outperform the rest of the market here, guys, and I am very, very happy about that. I mean, very, very happy about that. You go, Oaks, why one of you guys brought this to my attention? It is at the lower range, I would say, right? But overall, it's still doing very good compared to the rest of the market. You can see where it was just, a while ago, and it's still getting back up here to these levels we saw pre-COVID around 2018 and such. So I like that. I like that a lot. DVN. This is one of those things that hasn't recovered as much, but it's still doing perfectly fine. It's just running up against some resistance as far as the 50 and the 200, looking at that first death cross in a while. Schlumberger, this is more of oil and drilling, but look at all-time highs. Right? It's not like pumping up a lot, of course, but when you consider where it was a while ago, how oil has been kind of going more sideways and down recently, you can be. I'm pretty happy with how oil has really performed. It's kind of the same with medicine, and we talked about this like a year and a half ago now. How I was going into oil and healthcare, they've still been doing pretty steady. I would probably say I'm more in oil, obviously, than healthcare. I don't really mention that to many people, especially out here in Washington, because they say I'm an evil person for investing in oil. But I'll let you guys think what you will about that. But I have to say, like, healthcare hasn't been as good. I don't buy any of the Pfizer or the J&J stuff. I'm not like, I don't want to buy anything related to the vaccine and whatever you call COVID. I'm more in some of the smaller stuff here, like the people that make products, for the hospitals, people that build the hospitals. I can even go into infrastructure and stuff. But there's not. Let me see over here. Would be a good one for healthcare. AMGN, I guess. Yeah. This is something I've owned for a while, but you can see it's not doing as great as oil, but it's still doing fine, right? And the dividend, 3%. Again, not the craziest dividend, but it's still there. It's still a dividend. So look for dividend plays, guys. Drug manufacturers. There's always seems to be a shortage nowadays. That's why I keep looking at them. And they're probably going to get paid a bunch of money by the government to actually just like start pumping out more stuff. So dividend 3 here for ABBV. We've talked about this number of times, but it's come down a little bit here, right? I would take that as a buying opportunity personally. AMGN, again, 3%. Over here we got 2%. Over here we got, what is that? No dividend for BBIB. Biogen, yeah. Bristol Squibb, 3%. No, 3.42%. Gilead Sciences. This thing's been around for a while. I've owned this for a while, but this is not because of COVID. This has just been something interesting for a while. But yeah, so you can see a lot of these dividends, 7.5%. People are hiding in dividend plays because they just don't want to own tech, apparently. HZNP, never heard of this one before. This is, it's Ireland. That's why you guys know I usually filter out other countries. But there's other plays out there, lots and lots of plays out there. So keep an eye out for them, especially if they're in the dividend realm. If you have two companies, one that has a dividend, one that doesn't have a dividend, most of the time, if they look pretty similar, everybody in the hedge fund markets, big banks, they're going to go into the dividend market so they can just stay there, hold it, make money, and use those dividends to consider themselves as profits on the bottom line. Thoughts on dealing with the normies when talking about the market? What do you mean? Like, when it comes to stocks and stuff like that and crypto, I talk to a lot of people. Oh, there we go. We broke out. There we go. We broke out. Yay, she broke out. When it comes to me and how I talk to different people, I kind of just like through conversation, I assess what they know, and then I try to give them some information as I can. Most of the time when I talk to wealthier individuals, I guess, in downtown Seattle, have these really nice houses. Their housing payments, it's like $10,000+ a month for their houses. They don't really ask me the basics of trading or just how the market works. They just kind of are much more upfront and like, hey, what's happening? Why is this going on? Are we, are we at levels of resistance? They kind of have an idea, but they're just kind of asking me my personal opinion about something. Like, should I be buying right now? Yada, 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 right? And I always tell them, if you're not going to pay attention to the market, just do dollar cost averaging and hold for the long term. It's going to be much better, right? But for everybody else who maybe doesn't know much about the market, or they're just a friend, they're like, hey, Michael, what's going on with the market? I just usually explain some basic economic news that's going on and how the economy is either doing okay, bad, had some surprising news, something like that. And then I kind of explain in general terms like, hey, yeah, so right now, what happened with FTX, the market was very, very oversold compared, relative to the, just RSI, but I won't say that. I'll say something else so they can understand it, right? And then I'll just try to explain that, yeah, the big pump is there. I think it's going to eventually come back down, but right now it's nice to see people kind of taking more of an interest into the crypto markets. That's usually how I bring it up, or how I answer the questions there. Excuse me. But it's usually not too hard for me to talk about crypto. I mean, but I usually, when I'm talking with other experts in the field, or not other experts, but like other people out there, when I do my marketing business and stuff like that, I usually like to just hear what they're passionate about, and if we have something we're both passionate about, we will talk for a while about it, and that kind of keeps the conversation going. Today I told you guys I had a long meeting with a friend, Kevin. He's a sound engineer, very, very, very talented one. He's worked on a lot of projects, a lot of big projects. Um, and he was breaking down for me a song towards the end of our call after we were kind of done with the business stuff, and he was showing me some new layouts of his platform. Um, he was showing me that in the song Bon Jovi, not Bon Jovi, oh, I forget the song. I can't play it because it's YouTube. But he told me about what happened with the back room and the audio and the guy dropping the drums or something. I'm just totally butchering what he taught me in a few seconds. I can't reiterate it because it's just so kind of blew my mind a little bit. But hold on. While you guys are looking at that, let me look at it over here. Uh, hold on. Uh, no, okay, I can't find it. Um, no, okay. There's a part in this song where basically their audio room, like their recording room, whatever, it was next to a room where they were taking apart equipment and stuff or unloading equipment. And when the guy was unloading the equipment, the sound of unloading the equipment and the drums bled into the room that the Bon Jovi was recording, and it enhanced the song by adding one specific drum part to it, which is very, very good. Um, that's all I'll say about it. It's complicated, but I learned some Bon Jovi history today, which is interesting. I'm a big classics music guy, so I like classical music, and I like old school music, like Bill Withers and stuff. Let's see right here. And no worries, Ghost. I'm happy I looked at Zom for you. I mean, it's doing perfectly well. I'm almost mad at myself for selling right now. I guess I still have Zom, but I told you I've been scaling out for a while. So I only have like 10-15% of my original position left. Most of my position right now is in stuff like PXD. I still have a little bit more ConocoPhillips. I was hoping Conoco would actually go a little bit higher than what it is now. So if I go over here, right, right? I was hoping Conoco would actually be already going up a little bit higher, but it did have that breakdown there. Um, and so right as we were breaking down that day, this is a weekly chart, I actually sold off a lot of my positions, like another 10%, another 15%, because I'd already been scaling out here because, again, if you look at it, this is all-time highs. Why not scale at all-time highs? That's a pretty smart thing to do, right? But stuff like PXD, not nearly close to the all-time highs, but again, has those really good dividend plays. I'm used to the stock tanking after dividends, right? Tanked after dividends. Dividends right here, tanked after dividends. Dividends over here, tanked after dividends. Went up after dividends. Tanked after dividends. Went up after. I'm used to it going down after dividends, honestly, because people sell, they've made their money. They don't have to deal with it. But I do notice on stuff like PXD, you've had that death cross on the weekly chart now. It's no death cross here. Definitely been moving up a little bit higher here. We've been looking at this for a while as far as, look at that. Big moves there, big moves there. We talked about the big move that was going to be coming. It's looking fine. When you stuff like, not that one. No, where's that? There we go. Chevron. This is more of what I was hoping to see from PXD, as far as like relative to where it is to its highs and stuff. But it's doing fine. Oh no, excuse me, not PXD. ConocoPhillips. But it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where everything is, to be honest. Everything's just going peachy, right? Look at the monthly chart here. It's never been higher. The rest of the market's just not in a good spot. Oil, doing fine. Visa's still doing okay. Visa is something I've been dollar cost averaging since I was in college, like way back over here. I was doing Uber as a job, and this one guy, this hedge fund guy, was visiting to do fly fishing and go skiing up in Big Sky Resort. Um, and he was just like, oh no, not skiing, just fisherman. This guy's a fisherman. Um, this is way back over here. He was like, hey, just if I give you, I was like asking, hey, I'm interested in the markets. Can I like, I got Robinhood. Can like give me some advice? Like, what's good to buy? He's like, hey, just buy a Visa and just hold on to it forever. And you know what? The Visa that I originally bought, it's in my Vanguard account. It's like, around $30. Even to this day, it's still around 660% up. It's great. This guy knew what he was talking about. Same with MasterCard. No, actually not the same with MasterCard. Gosh. And now I know why he didn't say MasterCard. But yeah, I actually own MasterCard long term, not as much as Visa, but what do you call MasterCard's another good thing out there if you guys like to trade. I'm surprised that MasterCard's I normally don't look at the monthly charts for this. All I look at is the weekly chart. So, going back over here to what we had during 2008, big boom, COVID, big boom. Huh. Why did I think that this was much better? Oh, this is Macy's. Oh, here's MasterCard. Oh my gosh. Okay, that scared me. That scared the bejesus out of me. My brain just kind of freaked out there for a second. Yeah, this is MasterCard. Sorry, guys. I was like, how in the world is that? Like, no, that shouldn't be like that. And you can even see MasterCard broke out a while ago, came back down to test out support, and then it kind of boomed off again. That scared me for a second, guys. Sorry, that freaked me out for just 1 second. All right, then we go back to Sheeb. So Sheeb is still pumping up right now after the breakout there. So again, we just talked about how this could be a good scalp or a good day trade. There's the day trade right there. Again, this would be a leverage trade. You buy the breakout right there. It's currently up around 1.2%. If you own 10x leverage, you're up 10%. If you have 20x leverage, you're up 20%, obviously. Scalp, though. Scalp, small day trade if you want to go there. Stop loss just being where you open the position, probably around here. That way, you can at least make sure you're only paying the trading fees if you don't make a profit off of this one. Let's go to the 5-minute chart, though, because we got that nice breakout there. Might have to cool off a little bit. And hey, CoinPhase, happy to see you back. Is a large move to be expected with the 20 SMA about to cross above the 200 SMA on the Doge weekly? Only, yes. So we can go up to 10, 11 cents for Dogecoin. That's only if Bitcoin finds a way to break out, though. Okay, so, or Bitcoin goes stagnant and it's testing out resistance levels. Sometimes you see coins pop off when Bitcoin goes sideways, like what we're seeing right now. Bitcoin's going sideways. You're seeing sheep pop off like crazy. That's what you need to happen, but it's going to be very hard for Dogecoin to do that unless Bitcoin actually does break out, okay? Primarily, you're going to want to see Bitcoin break out, the NASDAQ break out, and the SPY break out. That'll be a good sign to buy many assets out there, making sure that we don't have a big fake out or something, because then you guys have to have some stop losses or at least be aware of where your positions are if you guys are going to do swing trades. If you guys are doing dollar cost averaging, don't worry about any small move in the market, but you got to be prepared for a fake out at the same time. Let's say here. And G's Doge is still going, 88.8. Well, yeah, Shiba's still going, so I expect Doge to be going. Yes, Doge is up now to 6%. Dogecoin also had a breakout above its resistance level right here, and it's been making moves up as well. Let's go to the 15. So we are seeing some really nice pops up right now, everybody. And XRP, yeah, we can go over there very fast if I can find it. Not moving up as much as the other two, but still doing okay. It looks like, whoa, so this thing actually already managed to break out above the 200, but it really didn't do anything good afterwards. Look at that. It had a fake out here. That makes it a little bit more difficult. It had the initial breakout. That's where you primarily would have wanted to buy, right? 4-hour chart. As far as XRP, if it breaks out, I'd be willing to take a position on it. It'd be more of a day trade, not a long-term trade, just a day trade on this one. But my issue with it right now is that, it's pretty far away from this support level. It already broke out of that support level. I don't have to worry about that. Did this balance out okay, though? It did do okay right there. Okay. So, 4-hour, it already broke down below the 200 as well. Be careful of XRP if it comes back down here to 0.37 or so. It's around 0.39 right now. But if it manages to break out, and I would say if it does break out, it probably will happen in the next 12 hours. 12 to 16 hours, let me say it like that. If it does break out, I'd be willing to take a position on it and hope that I can actually get back up here to at least 41 cents. If not, all the way over here to maybe 44. That 44 would be kind of on the high end, but I think on the low end here, at least 41, 42 cents. And that wouldn't be too bad. Relative to a lot of other assets out there, it's probably not going to be making as much profit because you're going to be going from 40 to 41, which is like 2%. 42 is 5%. Not the greatest, but you could make some profit there. I don't know if I can see this really going parabolic because all it's really done over the past few weeks is just kind of go sideways, except for one big move here. Maybe at the high end, 48, but that'd be a weekly play. That would be more of a day trading play, right? If you're looking for more of this, like holding this for a week or so, perhaps you can see this going up to 48 cents or so, maybe just going up to the 50-week moving average there, but be careful with it. This one doesn't look as pretty as some of the other ones. You're going to be really hoping for a big pop. That could happen, again, over the next 16 hours or so, but that pop would go, we'd cool off, then it'd be going on for multiple days if you want to see it, in my opinion, get to like 48 cents or something like that. But I do think in the next 16 hours or so, you could see this get up to 41, 42 cents for a nice little 5% profit. And Sheeb's cooling off a little bit here. Not a lot, just a little bit. I can see from the price difference. Just that small cool off right there. Apple Pie Moonshine. Ooh, that sounds really good. Don't let your cig near me. Oh man. I don't have any cigarettes. I have apple juice and I don't smoke cigars. I smoke cigars every now and again, but I haven't smoked a cigar, I don't think, in like a year. I like this taste of cigars. All right. Let's see. But I think that's it, everybody. I mean, guys, chill out, relax. Santa's also having a little bit of a pump right now. It looks like I had a pump a little bit ago. Watch this market play out, but understand that Bitcoin and the Ethereum, as well as the NASDAQ and as well as the SPY, they're all at levels of resistance that have been very hard for them to break out above in the past. So usually what happens is we approach these levels, there's a sense of FOMO and people get really into buying on the market. And then all of a sudden we tank, all right? So just be careful that if we do tank and there is a rejection over the next few days, please be careful that you're not caught in that. Have your stop losses in place. Make sure you guys see what's coming up on the economic calendars so you guys aren't surprised that some random piece of economic news decided to tank the NASDAQ or the SPY, and that led to the Dow Jones going down, and the Bitcoin and Ethereum going down. Take your time and everything like that. But there are a lot of plays out there, and just my opinion, I think the day trading opportunities here are a lot of fun. So take your time, everybody. Have some fun, and relax a little bit. This is actually a pretty good day, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, and I gotta go make some dinner. Thanks.